ago did somebody introduce you yesterday? You say yes, but I want to say a couple of words, some few words for Buddha Stretch from Brooklyn, New York City.
Yes, sir.
Yes. He was a dancer and choreographer for Michael Jackson's Remember the Time, for Will Smith's Men in Black, Getting Jiggy With It, Miami. I think a dancer choreographer for Mariah Carey about 20 years? Right? 10 years? Okay, yeah. 10 years. And a lot of other things. And also MC and a writer.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so give it up for Buddha Stretch.
Thank you. A DJ too.
So we prepared a couple of questions. And I want to start with one question. I can remember, I think 15 years ago, we talked about advices for young dancers, and you answered me, it's not about young dancers, it's about dancers at all. So what be your best advice for dancers?
Give the same advice every time. Focus on the music. Everything revolves and comes from and is about the music. If you focus on the music, the dance is easy. If you focus on the dance, it becomes difficult because it's tied to the music. To understand the dance, you need to understand the music.
Okay, so if you have some questions in between, feel free to ask. So it's more like a conversation between Buddha Stretch and you. And I always only help with, try to help with some questions. So yesterday, tonight, last night, you judged the hip-hop battle.
Yes,
so what are the most important aspects for you as a judge in a hip-hop battle? How do you make your decisions?
The criteria I use to judge is based on 6 questions. Who, what, where, when, how, why. Who is character? What is vocabulary? Where is performance? When, creativity? How, technique? Why, musicality. The person that gets 4 of 6 wins the battle.
Okay, very, very interesting. And can you say to these 6 points, can you say something more about the 6 points? How would you define them?
They're defined by the question. Who are you in the dance? That's your character. Do you dance like you or do you dance like someone else? So who you are is your character. What are you doing? What you're doing defines what dance or style you represent. If you're popping, you have to pop. If you're whacking, you have to twirl. If you're locking, you have to lock. So there's a vocabulary to every dance style, and that determines the dance style. So that's what, your vocabulary. Where you dance determines how you perform. When you dance in a battle, that's not the same dance as dancing in class. When you dance in class, that's not the same dance as dancing in a showcase. And dancing in a showcase is not the same dance as you dancing in the shower. Okay, so where determines your performance. When you put all of these things together, you're creating your own dance. That's your creativity. How you do the dance is how you do the dance, your technique. How do you do a pirouette in ballet? You have to squat and lift and spin. That's technique. And then why? The most important part after character is why. Why is the music? Why is the rhythm, the musicality? It's you and the music have to connect. That's what the purpose of the battle is, and the performance and everything else. It's your connection, your expression to the music. So that's how I judge. Those are the things that I look at. And again, a battle is really simple. You just got to get 4 out of 6.
And about the thing of musicality, I can remember we talked about the difference between musicality and music memory. Can you say something about this?
Music memory is when you listen to a song and you memorize it. You know the parts of the song, so you know how to accent different parts of the song. Musicality is becoming a part of the song. It's you're reacting to all the parts in the music in any song. Musicality, you don't need to know the song, you need to know how to react to the song, how to express yourself to the song, how to become a layer in the music. That's musicality. Music memory is simple. Anyone can listen to a song over and over again and know it. But can you dance to music that you've never heard before and accent that music? That is musicality, in my opinion.
So I need some time to listen to the music. So in a battle, would you give a dancers, for example, 5, 10, or 15 seconds to understand the music, to become a part of the music? Or do you think the dancer have to start already when the music is starting?
I always advise people not to start when the music starts. You have to feel the music first. And once you feel the music, you'll find that the music has a cadence or a rhythm to it. And once you find that, then you play with that. That's what the dance is based in. But if you just jump out there and do every move that you've ever practiced, it doesn't connect to the music, and the judges are looking like, why are you doing all of this?
So it's not about the number of moves someone is doing, it's more about how the dancers are connected to the music.
If you take away the music, no one cares how many moves you have.
Okay. And do you have advice as a dancer? How can I practice to get a better musicality, or is something that we are born with?
Musicality is what you're born with. Okay, everyone in this room, myself included, started out the same way. You are all babies. Okay? Do babies know how to count? No. Do babies know what records are? No. Do babies know, hip hop or whacking or breaking? They don't know any of that. They don't know what any of that means. They don't even know words. But when the music happens, babies do the exact same thing on any place on earth and in space. All babies do is they bounce or they rock, because it's a natural inclination of rhythm. And you learn that from the first rhythm that you inherit is the heartbeat of your mother. So that's the natural inclination to move to the music. If you just stay there, then it's simple to build from there. And then, it becomes, it's a natural response. The problem is everyone starts thinking, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. And then the music's over there.
That's a point that we very often talk about it with a lot of people here. So my question is, someone has a question right now? Because it's a very interesting thing, I think, for many people here, because a lot of you are competing in different competitions. So I think it would be a very interesting point if you have some questions about it. Questions?
Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid.
Dankeschön. No, don't have to be scared.
You're on air.
So when I'm battling, there's that thing that I'm trying to balance. It's the mix between partying and actually enjoying the community, and as you would do like in a cyber or similar, and actually being in fight mode. And I'm kind of still trying to figure out how to balance that. So how do you navigate between those two lines?
Don't party in a battle. Focus, listen, in a battle, your focus is the music. If you're in fight mode, you know what you're fighting with? You attack the music. Because that's what the judges are looking for. Who is most connected to the music and the moment? In that moment, you attack the music. But you attack the music from the standpoint of, I'm not trying to destroy the music, I'm trying to connect with the music as hard as possible. And you're trying to do it better than your opponent. So the party aspect comes in, that's the feeling of the music. You're not angry with the music. You're rocking with the music. So that's the part, that's the party. But the battle is to beat the person you're dancing with. And to beat them is to beat them to how well you can connect with the music versus how well they can. Doesn't matter what they do, it matters what you do, because you're trying to beat yourself, not them.
Thank you. I actually have another.
No,
That's fine.
fühl dich frei, feel free.
The mic is mine.
Clearly, hip hop has developed over time. So the hip hop from back then is not the same as right now. And regarding the criteria.
What's different about it?
Well, I think the music mostly changes. So when you go to a hip hop battle, it's a lot of those beat killer type of.
There's no such thing as beat killing. No such thing. Let me stop you there. You do not kill the very thing that gives you life. Think about that. That makes no sense. You don't kill the beat. You connect to the beat. You express the music. You become a three-dimensional image of what the music feels like. That's not killing anything. You need to lose that murder mentality. And the only thing that you're listening to is what it's called is an instrumental. There have been instrumentals forever. If you just take out the words, it's the beat. There's no difference. It's the mentality that you've been indoctrinated with. Okay? You're listening to instrumental beats. If I put someone's words on them, does it change the music? No, it's the same beat. So you are listening to what is an instrumental. There have always been instrumentals. There are instrumentals in every style. The difference is your focus is on what you think other people have shown you. Your focus should just be on the dance connecting to the music, and the music is timeless. Okay? If you listen to what you guys call drill music now, I can play a Jay-Z record from 1998 produced by Timbaland that sounds exactly like drill. That's 25 years ago. Is it new or is it old? Okay? If it's new and if it's different, why are there still drums? Are they using new drums? Is it a new kind of drum, or is it an 808 kit, as we call it? The 808 was used from the 70s. It's not new. It's the application of it is new. The way that they're using it, but nothing is new. Everything is different, as the elders say. There's nothing new under the sun. The only new thing is your perspective. So the dance has not changed at all. Your perspective is what's changing, because you are making a disconnection. People tell me, oh, you know, there's new style hip hop. Is there a new style of breaking? I'll wait. Is there a new style of popping? Is there a new style of ballet? Hustle? There is a new style hustle. See, I threw that in to see if you were paying attention. And that's my point. There is just a newer perspective and a new application, but it's the same thing. And here, let me ask you a question. You have 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 lips, 2 nostrils, 2 hands, 2 feet. Are they different or the same as when you were born?
It's the same, but then we developed.
Developed? It's called growth. Okay? It's the same, but it's different. You've grown. That's all that's happening. It's growing. It's not evolving. Evolution is when you change to adapt to a particular situation. We evolved from fish because we came on land. So we had to develop, lose the fins and develop limbs. Then we evolved to stand upright because we needed to move faster. That's evolution. What we're doing in dance is called growth. That's it. And that's why the elders say, again, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different perspective.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Dankeschön. Danke. Thank you for your questions, and that's exactly the reason why we make this Q&A. It's for you. So if you have questions from your daily dance, from questions you have in your mind since years, then now it's the moment to ask the questions. You see, you don't have to be afraid. You get clear answers, and if you ask a clear question, you get a clear answer.
How was it working for such big artists like Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson? How was your experience to work with them?
It was 99% great. The 1% that's not great is you have to make, it's about the artist. So the work is about them, not about the dance or the culture. That's the 1% that's annoying. But the other part is always good, it's fun. Working with artists that really are into what you're doing makes it the best experience. Like working with Michael Jackson, excuse me, was amazing because he worked, excuse me, he worked harder than everyone else in the room. Yet he's Michael Jackson. Think about that. He didn't have to work hard. He could have just showed up and be like, here, okay, I'm doing it this way. All right, let's shoot. But he came to work and he outworked everyone else. So, and again, it's us, we're the dancers, hip-hop dancers, we're supposed to be so great. Well, this man walks in and he learns the steps in like 3 times. You teach it to him 3 times and he's got it. And then he wants to ask you questions about the step. How did you come up with the step? What's the background of the step? Do those sneakers help with the dance? Do you always wear your hair in a ponytail or do you let it hang? And does it, when you spin, does it hurt or does it interfere? These are the questions he's asking. Think about that. Now I'm sitting there or standing there and he's asking me these questions. And in my mind, I'm like, Michael Jackson's interrogating me. And I don't know why he's asking, but it took a while. And then afterwards, I realized he's asking because information is power. And he wants to stay powerful. He wants to stay at the top of the food chain. He got there, but he wants to stay there. And in order for you to stay there, you got to put in the work.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No worries.
Thank you. One question I got yesterday. What do you think is the most significant thing that has changed in the hip-hop scene in recent years?
The competitiveness. Everything is ultra competition. Everything is battle, battle, battle. When do you actually dance together? When do you actually dance together? Where's the fun? I see people that win battles and they're upset. You won. Why are you angry? Why are you down? Why aren't you celebrating? It's just like, Where's the joy and the love for the music and the camaraderie and the company and the community? That is, in my opinion, the biggest difference. You know, it's ultra competitive, and there's nothing wrong with competition. Competitiveness is human nature, but you're pushing it to the point where it's everything, and it's not everything. The music is everything. If you lose the music, then you don't have any competition. You don't have any battles. You know, take away the music. What are their dance studios for? There are no battles. There are no radio stations. There are no MP3s. There are no CDs, tapes. There's no music for your birthday party or bar mitzvah. There's no music for your wedding. There are no soundtracks. That's how important the music is, and that's getting lost. What you're hearing is, in these battles, as she said earlier, is you're hearing music that they think is good and supposed to inspire you. But if it inspires you, the entire room would be moving, not just the dancers. That's the DJ's job. That's how important the music is. The DJ is supposed to inspire the room to move to the music as one. And if the room is moving as one, guess what the dancers are going to do? That energy circulating in the room is infectious, and they're going to dance harder than they've ever danced before, like they're dancing in the shower by themselves. So that is, in my opinion, the difference. Music is no longer the focal point. Movement is the focal point. But without the music, there is no movement. There's a reason why most of the dances are named after the music. There's no jazz without jazz music. There's no salsa without salsa music. There's no hip hop or house without hip hop and house music. That's why the music is so important. And that's been my focus, to try to bring awareness to people that that's what you're missing. That's why this doesn't feel so good after you've done it over and over again. You go into battles, you don't get through the pre-selection, or you get through the pre-selection and you lose in the first round, or you get to the semifinals, but you're not feeling good about any of it because you're not connected to the very reason you're doing this in the first place, which is the music.
Okay, so the DJ is the most important part in the battle.
Yep.
Okay.
If you have a bad DJ, everything else is going to be trash. Yeah, I mean, I've seen, the craziest thing to me is to watch great dancing to bad music. People forcing themselves to dance good. Imagine if they got good music or great music, they wouldn't have to force it. If they're doing really good and they're forcing it, imagine how well they'll do if the music moves them and they're not moving to the music.
Okay. I have one more question to this thing, musicality. Because you said that musicality is something that we are born with. I can see it with my children. When the music starts, the little one starts to move without thinking about anything. But if we are getting older, then maybe in a battle or in a competition, we have some dancers that we're thinking they have better musicality or move more in the music. They hear the beats, they feel the beats, and others not. If you someone who's not able to feel it, what advice could you give them to get better in this?
Listen. Listen to the music. You can't feel anything in the music if you're not listening to it. It's sound. Okay? It's sound. You have to listen in order. Okay, each part of the music, there's a layer. So you have the bottom layer, which is the core of the bass, which is the drums. Kick, snare, hi-hat. Then you'll have bass or bass line, melody, vocals, strings. All of these are layers in the music. Musicality is you becoming a layer in the music. You're switching from this layer to that layer to that layer to that layer. And then when you get to God mode, as we call it, like Link, you become a layer in the music. You're putting a rhythm in the music that's not there, that's not written in the song. People are following you and following the music, but there's no rhythm in that particular music. That's musicality. And everyone can do that if you're listening. If you're thinking, you're not listening. Because thinking is not required to listen. If you're thinking about things, you're missing what's happening. You have to listen with intent, the intent to hear and to feel. There's a reason why your parents yelled at you when you weren't paying attention and they were talking, because you're not listening.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So you talked about Link, And as I know, Link is one of the best dancers in the hip hop scene.
Every dance, ever.
In every dance, yes. So, but it's I think for many people it would be not easy to really see what he's doing. So, what for you would be the qualification to be a judge in a battle with dancers like Henry Link or someone else?
It's the same exact qualification. It's the same thing. It's just, I know that the rhythm part is taken care of. Because that's his strongest thing, is his ability to, his ability to have musicality. I can push that aside. So everything else I'm judging on is 5, because he's got that one. There's no reason, there's nothing, I would have to judge someone else in comparison to what he's doing. Their musicality, if it doesn't match, then he already has that one. So he has one already. You gotta get, you gotta get 4, because he's already got one. So you gotta get 4 or 5. So that's how hard it is to battle someone of that caliber, because they already have, that they already mastered particular criteria in the battle. It's the same thing with someone like Paradox. Paradox has absolute crazy musicality and creativity. So in order for you to dance with him, you got to come with, I got to match these 2 first. Everything else comes after I match these 2, because if I don't, I'm already down 2. So it's the same judging system. It's just some people are more qualified at certain things than others.
Okay, but there are always some. This had, for example, for years judges from America. Now we have to have some judges from Japan or from China. So there, it feels like there is a lot of politics sometimes. So what do you think about that?
Well, you just said it. It's a lot of politics, or as we say, politricks. You need qualified people who know what they're looking at, period. Doesn't matter where they're from. If they don't know what they're looking at, then how are they judging it? Would you put someone to cook your food that has never cooked food before? Or would you hire a chef? You would put 3 chefs to judge a cooking contest, not your friends or your relatives or people that you met in class. That's the same thing. You put people that know what they're looking at. You can't judge something if you don't understand it. And if you don't understand it, then how are you there? How are you judging it? If that were the case, then we could do like everyone does online. Everybody's opinion matters. Let's just argue pointlessly. There's a reason why there's qualifications for things. There's a reason why there's a system for judging. There's a system for judging fighting. There's a system for judging driving, flying. Why isn't there a system for judging dancing? Oh, because it's art? Nonsense.
Are there any questions about it?
He has his hand up.
I don't know if this question is a little bit too personal, but I just wanted to know why you didn't do a judge demo yesterday. Was there any reason?
Yeah, it's fairly simple. It's called fatigue.
Okay.
I arrived yesterday morning. I taught 2 dance classes and then judged. And you want to see me dance more? It's kind of like, what are we talking about here? If I'd have arrived and I didn't teach, then it would have been easy to just jump around and do a judge demo. But after 2 classes and then sitting for hours watching you guys dance, then you want me to get up. Da, 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 da. Yeah, that's why I didn't do a judge demo.
Thank you. No, I think if I understand the question right, then the base of this is we have every time discussions about should the judge make a presentation or not because of yesterday at all. What do you think now? We don't think about yesterday. How important is for you if you come to a competition that the judges make a presentation?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Okay.
It's ridiculous. Okay, do the judges of the Olympics have to show that they know how to flip, like for gymnastics? Do they have to run and do a run to show you that they're qualified to judge gymnastics? If it's a ballet contest, do the ballet judges have to get up and show you the difference between first position, second position, rond de jambe, pirouette? No, they don't do that. Your qualification is based on what you've done already. The thing for me is like, why do I have to put on a show? If you really want to see me dance, just play the music. You play good music, I will dance regardless, no matter how tired I am. When the DJ played music last night, I'm doing this. Because if I feel the music, my body's in autopilot. Doesn't matter if I'm tired. If you play James Brown, I could have a broken foot. I will get up and dance on the good foot. That's the difference. That's why the music is so important. And the judge demo is for your ego, not mine. You really wanted to see me dance or know if I'm qualified? There's 100 videos of me dancing on YouTube. There's 100 videos of me dancing on Instagram. And it's me. It's not like it's AI. So that is just a selling point to get you to come like, oh, you need to see this person dance. No, you don't. You come for the music. If you don't come for the music, if you come for a show, you could watch that on YouTube. You come to dance. It's a communal effort. You come for the music. The music is why everyone is here. There's no dance without the music. And yesterday, during class, especially the second class, I demonstrated a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I danced, I don't know how many damn times. Too many, according to my feet. So yeah, the judge demo, it's nice if you've never seen or heard of this person and you need to see if they know what they're doing or if they know what they're looking at. But I've been dancing too long to keep proving that I know the dance, especially after I just taught, 6 hours of dance? Like, it's absurd.
Okay. So can you tell us something about this evolution from the social dance to the hip-hop? So if I'm right, then especially in Brooklyn, your base was the social dance, and you created or you changed all the steps that we know now, like Roger Rabbit, Steve Martin, Running Man. How did you do that? Was it in the club, like let's do this, let's try this? Did it become natural while you're dancing? How does it happen?
Okay, first let me just explain something. There is no difference between hip-hop and social dance. Hip-hop is a social dance. Whacking is a social dance. Breaking is a social dance. Ballet is a social dance. Social just means interaction between people to music. That's the dance part. The social part is just the interaction. So all dance is social dance. And I hear people say, oh, party dance. All dance is party dance. Okay? Ballet started where? At a party. The ball for the king of France as a gift from the king of Italy. A ball is what? A party. Like, can we stop with this? This is why you need to actually study and look at the things that you're being taught. Because people teach, you can't teach what you don't actually know. And the separation is just for people who don't know. They'll say, oh, okay, well, this is this and this is that. No, it's the same thing. It's a social dance because all of the things that we do, the way that we interact is That's the social aspect of it. That's why you have these platforms. They're called social networks. Well, dance is the original one. Okay? And what we did at a party was we danced, and then there's a specific dance to a specific song. And so we did that dance. But then when another song comes in, we added that dance to that, and then we mix things together in the moment. That's freestyle. We're dancing without thinking. Now, the dances have names because the reason why you have a name. If I introduce you to my friends and I say, oh, this is the guy with the Life is Priceless shirt, does that do you any good? Or are they gonna say, hi, life is priceless? That's not your name. It doesn't give you an identity. The name of the dance is for a reference, so you understand where you can make a reference and remember it. So when I introduce you, I'm introducing you as George, because that's your name. That's why the dances have names. We didn't come up with fancy names. A lot of the times, the dances or dances that someone else came up with, and they gave it a reference, a name that was popular to something, what they call pop culture reference. So the Roger Rabbit is named after a character in a movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit? The Running Man is named after a movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger called The Running Man. The dance corresponds with that because it's the same time period, and it's the easiest way for you to remember and identify with. That's where the names come from. And the only reason we did these dances is because they went with the music. And we did it in that moment, and we went from dance to dance to dance, and then as there's a moment where battles happen, now in the battle, you're not doing one dance. You're trying to outdance someone else. So you're showing, I can do all of these things better than you can. That's where the freestyle part comes from. But there was no thought process of, oh, we're gonna do this, and now we're gonna do that, and now we're gonna do this, and guys, did you catch that? No, it's all in the moment, and you only discuss the thing after you've done it. You're not thinking we're gonna do this, and then we do it. We do it, and then we thought, what did we just do? What was that step that you just did? Oh, that's the Benetton. Oh, okay. So now I know that step is called this, so when someone sees me do it, what is it called? Oh, it's called a Benetton. To share in that social interaction. That's why people have names. Otherwise, you have to give a description. And, a description of a dance. Oh, I was twisting and turning my hips as my feet did this, and I jumped and I clapped. No, I was doing the tone walk. It's that simple. It's much easier to share it when you have a reference and a name than to give a full description that people are not going to remember or understand.
Any questions about that? Yeah, whatever you like.
They need to hear you.
What is your opinion on down talking your opponent in a battle? Because everybody is always praising, love, community, blah blah blah. But often when it comes to the battle, it's like completely opposite, and that just doesn't get quite into my head.
Well, you have to understand something. From my generation's perspective, you're not doing battles. It's a dance contest. Battles don't have judges. Battles don't have time limits. When we would battle, if I battled you in the club, we danced until somebody stopped. If I battled you outside, and if I thought I was better than you, I'd come to your house and knock on your door and tell your mom, could he come outside for a moment? And then as soon as you came out, I'd say, it's on, let's go. And we danced until somebody gave up. No judges, no time limits. And what you're talking about is aggression, because it's a battle. It's not, we are the world, ooh, let's hold hands and dance. It's a battle. You're trying to beat someone. So you're aggressive at that moment. But after the battle, that's where the social part comes in. You shake hands or you hug, and now you've had an interaction in a moment that you can discuss and build upon, because now you can become not opponents, but friends. Even the best boxers, martial artists, and fighters, they don't like each other in the moment, but after the fight, what happens? They shake hands, they hug, they talk, there's discourse. Sometimes they train together. That's what's happening. That's why we always, myself and my crew, we always use fighting or martial arts as a parallel for dance. Because in martial arts, you're not thinking about fighting, you're fighting. And then you think, how did I do? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? In dance, it's the same thing. If you're thinking in a battle, you're gonna get beat. Just like if you're thinking in a fight, you're gonna get knocked out. And it's aggressive because you're trying to prove you're better than that person, but only in the moment. After the moment is over, go back to being a nice human being, because it's not that deep.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. Just since we were at battles again, do you see any bigger differences between American battle culture and European battle culture?
Oh, there's a very big difference. The reason why we have battles in America, we have tons of battles, especially now with Red Bull. Red Bull dance style is out of control. Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to Red Bull. But at the end of the battle, no one's upset. If they lost, they're just like, back to the drawing board. It's not that deep. It's not taken personal. Because if it was taken personal, you're not gonna battle at Red Bull. That person's gonna battle you when they see you. They're gonna come get you. That's the difference. You know, it's a moment and people wanna have, it's meant to be a good time. And then it's done, and then you're on to the next one. It's not serious. It's not the only thing that we have regarding the dance. You know, there are people that, okay, in the choreography world, none of the, you know, Sean Evaristo or I can't even think of some of the other dancers that are famous choreographers, they've never won a battle in their life. Yet they're teaching, their classes are full and they're enjoying the dance and the culture because that's what it's about. The overly competitive part is fun for a moment. And when the moment passes, you go back to life. And life is about living and enjoying, not, oh, I gotta beat this person and I don't like this person because they did this move and you're a biter. And like, you know, we did that in breaking for years, you know, and even then, after the breaking battle, what happens? The B-boys and B-girls become friends because it's not that serious. It's a culture, and in the culture, you're sharing. Even when you're trying to outdo each other, after that moment has passed, you're trying to build each other up, not tear each other down.
Nice. And do you have the feeling that here in Europe that it feels different?
Well, because
There's more competition going on?
you have a competition almost every day. Every weekend there's a competition in Europe. There's like 25 on the same day. Like there are battles. I was just at a battle in Amsterdam last weekend. And in Amsterdam, there were 5 other battles besides the one that I was at. On the same day, on that same weekend, I think there were like 12 different battles. Like, what is the point? What are you winning? I can understand, like, they say there's a battle, upcoming battle for like 100,000 euro. Okay, everybody should be excited for that, but the battle, you know, on the weekend where, you know, you could just get in the studio and practice, like, what are you battling for? What is the end game? Is it to become famous? You can become famous on YouTube, on TikTok. You don't need to battle a soul. So is it you want to teach and you want to travel? You can do all of that. You don't have to win a battle. There are many dancers that are teaching. I mean, okay, very famous choreographer. You tell me, Paris Goebel, has she won any battles? None? She won contests though, right? Hip Hop International. Her focus is on the dance, not about trying to be more impressive or I'm better than this one. She's living her life. And she's living her life through the dance. That's the point. Not everything has to be ultra competitive. Especially now, you have all of these platforms to show off what you have. You don't need to compete with anyone directly. Just put it up and let people judge it for themselves. The people that love it are going to, they're going to follow or like. The people that hate it, they're going to dislike or come up with stupid comments. And that's just because they don't like themselves and they have nothing to put up. So, but this ultra competitiveness is just going to create more ultra competitiveness. It's an arms race that's going nowhere.
I could just agree.
And it's from indoctrination, really. We're indoctrinated to constantly compete. That's the capitalist way. Compete. Compete for what? What are we competing for? What are we gaining from these competitions? You can be hella creative without, there's people that are, tremendously creative and have never been in a competition or have been in limited number of competitions. Because again, competition is natural. It's a part of it, but pushing it beyond the point where it becomes an obsessiveness is ridiculous to me. The real competition is the person that you see every day in the mirror. That's who you should be trying to beat. You're trying to be better than the person. I looked at this dude this morning and I said, I'm a bit better than you were yesterday, so I'm good. That's the competition, because that's the one person that you can control.
Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Okay. I got one question. I think the answer could fill today and tomorrow.
No worries.
So, what can you tell about the history of the styles, hip hop, popping, locking, how they are connected? Is it okay that many dancers combine all of them under the term or umbrella of hip hop?
No, I'll answer the second question first. It should not all be called hip hop, because it isn't. Locking existed before hip hop did. How could it be hip hop? There's an umbrella term for hip hop, and that umbrella term is the culture of hip hop, not the dance. Hip hop is a culture. It starts with DJing, MCing, graffiti or writing, breaking. And then from breaking, you have freestyle and now light feet. That's the culture that's a part of the dance, is a part of that culture. Popping has an entirely different, separate history that also predates hip hop. Locking does also. Whacking does also. The correct terminology should be, the umbrella term should be street dance. That's the umbrella term. That's the greater culture. And then when hip hop will be a subculture of street dance. But when you put street dance, everyone assumes hip hop. So it's more for marketing and promotion than anything else. Really, it's all about monetization. And as far as things being combined, they're already combined. All dance is built off of something else because, again, as the elders say, there's nothing new under the sun. You will find parallel movement in what we do in hip hop. There are parallels in all of the dances. There are parallels outside of street dance in what you call folk or cultural dances all over the world. And there's the easiest reason for this is we're all using the same tools. Okay? It's really simple, and I learned this as a kid. I'm a Buddhist, I'm not a Muslim. But in Islam, there's this thing called Allah. And when you break that down, it's arm, leg, leg, arm, head. Everyone's using the same arm, leg, leg, arm, and head. When someone evolves and they get extra arms or an extra leg or, 15 toes, 36 fingers, then you'll have an actual evolution and a difference in the way movement is. Up until that point, you're just seeing a newer perspective of the same thing. That's why it's all interconnected, because we are all interconnected. Everyone in this room has 2 eyes. You all have 7 holes in your face. You all have 10 toes. Some people might have 11. But you all 10 toes down. No one walks on their hands and their feet. Everyone has 10 fingers and toes. Your blood, oxygenated or not, is all red. Everyone has hair. Some have less. Some have a lot more. Okay, so that's why it's all interconnected. It was always interconnected. You're indoctrinated to think that there's some form of separation. There isn't. It's all connected anyway. We are all connected. And science tells you the same thing that the elders did. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So you're transforming one style into another style, but it's the same energy. And if you look at the music in locking is the same music in breaking. The music from whacking is what inspired the music in hip hop, which is disco. It's all interconnected because, again, we're all interconnected. Music is an outgrowth of our creativity and connection. And it's all interconnected because everything is interconnected in life. We have what's called the illusion of separation. So everything is already connected. It's just that some people have limited themselves, or they are limited in finding or acknowledging or being able to apply said connection. So if they can't do it, they want to tell you that you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But some of us have already been doing it, so we just ignore those people.
Thank you. Any questions about that? Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
My question would be, if you are judging a hip-hop battle, and there's someone who the whole time just does like popping, for example, do you judge it more or like worse, or do you just not care? Because at the end of the day, it's the same culture.
No, because it's a hip-hop battle. Why are you popping in a hip-hop battle? If you're using the technique of popping, that's one thing. But if you're doing the dance popping in a hip-hop battle, from my perspective, you lost already. Why? If it's an open styles or all styles battle, which means you can do whatever style you want, cool. But if it's a hip-hop battle, guess what? Got to do hip-hop. Same thing. If there's a locking battle and you come in and you start crumping, should I vote for you? Exactly. So there's a criteria. It's a specific style. If it's a hip-hop battle, gotta do what's associated with the culture, not what you think. Because popping, while associated with the culture, has an entirely separate culture and dance. Thank you.
So, additionally to this question, how would be your answer if the DJ is playing in the hip hop battle house music, and the dancers dancing house, not hip hop?
I would shoot the DJ.
Because that's
It's a hip hop battle. Why are you playing house? Again, it's a hip hop battle and I'm gonna play disco. No, you know. Or it's a whacking battle and I'm gonna play drill music. No. You know, stick to the script. You know. If it's, you can get around that. That's why they invented the all styles or open styles battle. So you could play whatever music and then people could do whatever style they want to it. But if it's a specific style, you gotta do that style. You know, if they say it's a dance battle, then play whatever you want, do whatever you want. But if it's a specific kind of dance, a la salsa or hustle, imagine you enter a hustle contest and people start, and you're like, and the judges are like, yeah, they're good, yeah, let's give them a 10. You're gonna look at the judges like they're crazy, and you're gonna look at the entire operation like, what is this? It's form and function.
Thank you. In your last answer, you said that popping and hip hop is a completely different culture. Can you tell us about the difference?
Well, popping, okay, hip hop is from New York. Everyone knows that. Popping is from the West Coast, and it has an entirely separate history. You have what they call NorCal and SoCal, Northern California, Southern California. Northern California, they have dance styles called what they call BRS, Boogaloo Robot Strutting. Southern Cali, you have popping, and some call pop locking, you know, and the robot also. But all of that is from that coast, and it has an entirely separate history before hip hop, and then combining with hip hop later. But if you just say it's all one thing, then you completely erase all of those people and their stories just to prop one story up. There is no one story. Even in hip hop, there's no one story. Hip hop starts in the Bronx, but it doesn't end in the Bronx. And if it didn't leave the Bronx and it didn't have contributions from Harlem, from Queens, from Brooklyn, it wouldn't exist. So it's a communal effort. And that's why history is important. People's stories matter. Their contributions matter. It's the entire reason for people trying to sidestep these things is because everyone, it's their ego. Everyone wants, oh, me, I did this, I created this, I did everything. I'm the best. You know, no, you're not. You're a part of a bigger thing. You're a cell in an organism. Keep still.
Because right now with the battles from Red Bull, it's all becoming more and more like a melting pie. Do you think it's more important like ever before to teach these different cultures, these different histories and the different steps and techniques?
How are you going to understand what you're doing after you've done Red Bull if you don't? And you're looking at the Red Bull battles. The best part of Red Bull now is they actually listened and they're playing actually good music now. Before they were just have people battling. Like I watched the battle between two great poppers a couple of years ago. They were popping to country music, Achy Breaky Heart. This was at a Red Bull battle in Los Angeles. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. But they learned, and now they're actually playing good music and giving the people, the dancers, a chance to express themselves. And that's why it's becoming so big, because now you're giving people a chance to really dance how they feel, as opposed to trying to fit the dance into the box of some other kind of music. But again, if you're watching, it all looks amazing, but afterwards, if you ask them, what did you do? What is that? What is it called? Where does it come from? If there's nothing attached, then they can just tell you anything. Oh, I made all of that up in my living room last night. And then someone like me will step up and be like, you're lying.
I watched some of your videos, like the old school dictionary, the middle, and the new school dictionary. And
Wait, hold on. We did what's called the new school dictionary. The old school dictionary is an entirely separate video that covers popping, locking, and breaking. It was done before we did it. People throw all of these things together. In the video, we show you what was considered old school. This is from, all of these terminologies in this video are used by the Japanese because that video was made in Japan. So they make up these three criteria or I can't even think of the word now, but old school, middle school, new school. But those are two separate videos. There's the old school dictionary and the new school dictionary. And they're two separate things with different dances on them.
okay, and these terms are used very different. Like you told before, like new style, new school. So a lot of people don't know what it means. So how would you define it? The difference?
It's a reference point.
Okay.
It's a reference point. That's it. And it was a reference point that the Japanese used. We didn't use that because we didn't look at, they used hip hop as, they thought of it as the new school because of the dances that came before it, which were locking, popping, breaking. That's what they had in Japan before hip hop. And then the dances that came after, which were like crump, light feet, or flexing. So then the Japanese looked at it as, okay, you guys are the middle school. We're in the middle between the old school and the new school. But the problem with that is everything old becomes new and everything new becomes old again because it's a cycle. And that's why it should only be used as a reference point. Because if you say, oh, you're doing old school. If I'm doing old school hip hop, then what is breaking? Older school? Okay, locking is older than breaking. Is that the elder school? Salsa is older than locking. Is that the ancient school? Lindy hop and jazz or swing is older than salsa. Is that the Jurassic school? And African dance predates everything. Is that the Big Bang school? See how ridiculous that sounds? There's always going to be something new that comes from something old. It's a cycle. And as I said earlier, it's energy. It's just being transformed. It's not old, it's not new. The same thing with the music. What you're hearing is a different perspective of something that's already been there. That's it. It's not new. It's new to you because it's new to your perspective. But it has existed already for quite some time. Rap isn't new. Hip hop, they say the first MCs are 1973, but they were rapping. James Brown had a song called The Brother Rap before hip hop existed. They were rapping in jazz from the 1940s and 30s. Muhammad Ali was the best rapper of all time. He rapped before every fight. He told you in a rhyme how he was going to knock them out, when he was going to knock them out, and what round. And it all rhymed. So that's not new. There was DJing before hip hop. Graffiti is the absolute oldest form. People have been writing their names on things for centuries, millennia. So none of it is new. It's just a newer perspective of the same thing. So what we refer to as old school, new school, middle school, or whatever school is a reference point for something. You're creating a timeline. But that timeline is going to grow the longer you look at it, the longer you examine it, because the timeline is from now backwards, not now forward. You don't know what the future holds, but you know what came before. And that's why it's a reference. New school compared to what? Lightfeet is what we call the newest form of hip hop. Lightfeet is almost 20 years old now. Is it still new? Or is it just new to people who don't know it? And 10, 20 years from now, will that be the middle school? Again, and then what does that make freestyle hip hop? Breaking, locking. What does that make the waltz?
So do you think that you really need this points, or isn't it enough to say that's hip hop, that's popping, no matter
It's
if
that simple.
New school?
It's you again, this is where what we were talking about earlier, where the politics come in. Because politics puts everything in a box, nice and neat. Yeah, this is this, this is this, this is this, and it can't be any different. That's the beauty of hip hop culture. Hip hop tells you nothing is in a box. It's all in a cipher. And you take things, put things in, mix it up, and take something out. Because it's already mixed up. And a cipher has no beginning and no ending. Whereas a box has points where it stops. Politics puts you in a box. Life is in a cipher. Politics is easy. Life is hard.
So I start to thinking a lot about what you said about this
question.
You have a question? Thank you. It helps me a lot now.
Her. Yeah.
Earlier you said that it's important that the DJ plays good music or good songs, but who decides if a song is good or not? Because sometimes you listen to music and you don't connect to it very well, but another one can, so who decides if it's good or not?
Remember I said the DJ is supposed to move everyone? That's how you decide if the music is good. If everyone's moving, music is great because everyone's connected. If one person is moving, the music is ass. The DJ's job is to get everyone to move together. Think about, okay, you've all seen a rave, right? What happens at a rave? It's a bunch of wild people jumping around to music, correct? All moving at once. And when the DJ changes the music, the people move differently. It's the same thing at a concert. Everyone here knows about Kendrick Lamar? Yeah. You've seen him do the same song 5 times in a row, correct? And got the same exact response. That's moving the crowd. That's the DJ's job, is to move the crowd. So that one person's interpretation is not the only interpretation. It's everyone moving, it's the connection. That's how you know the music is good. If you walk into a room and one person is doing this and everybody else is sitting, you're gonna look and like, what are they listening to? But if you walk into the room and everybody's doing this, what are you going to do? You're going to try to figure out what they're listening to and how does it feel. It's a natural response. That is what determines if the music is good or not. The natural response from everyone moving in unison, because we're meant to move in unison. No worries. One more question.
Okay, I think
two more questions. My bad.
So, yeah. So ladies first. So I think that will be the last questions because of time.
Oh, 3 more questions. Oops. Go ahead.
Talking about mistakes that could happen when you're organizing a battle, for example, choosing your own DJ, is there anything else that you have witnessed in your time as a judge that people or that organizers usually do certain mistakes or certain things that are always good to have at a battle when you're organizing it?
In my opinion, you got to have, the first thing that you choose is a venue to host. After that, it's the DJ. After that, the judges should all have a criteria, or what they call a rubric of judging. If they can't tell you what they're judging on, they don't belong in that seat. We call that seat the hot seat. You shouldn't be in the hot seat if you can't explain what you're judging on, because it has to be fair for the people that you're bringing to the event. That shows that you actually care. So after you get good music, you got to get good people who are going to judge the dance and know the dance and judge on the moment. Not on, oh, this person is famous, so they should win. No. So they won 100 battles yesterday. They got to win today. Doesn't matter, because there are people here that don't know that they won anything. Only you might know that. And it's not fair to the people. So you got to get good judges after you get a good DJ and a good venue, and then make it a good experience for everyone, not just the dancers or just the promotion. At least that's how I look at it.
Thank you.
Then on to the next one.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing you're doing dancing as a job, right?
How did you get that? Yeah, it's been my job for almost 40 years now.
Okay, but when in your life was your breaking point to say, I'm doing this, or what happened that you said that you're going to do dancing as a job?
Someone told me at a club they would pay me to get on the stage and dance and get the crowd excited. I was paying to get in this club every week. They told me, we're gonna pay you. And I was like, you're gonna pay me to do what I was paying you to do? And they're like, yeah. And it was like, yeah, you get free drinks, you can get a guest list. And I was like, I get free drinks. I get in the club free. I get a guest list so I can bring friends. And I get paid to get on the stage and just do whatever the hell I want. Hell yeah. That was the beginning. Once I got paid one time, and then someone's like, oh, I like what you did in that show. Can you do that for my artist? Yeah, I'll pay you. Well, all right. Sounds like a plan. And then it just kept happening. And then someone was like, hey, we want you to go on tour with these artists. Tour other places? And I get paid to do what I was doing in this club? Hell yeah, let's keep it going. Oh, we want to take you to this country to do what I was doing in this club? Or better yet, to do what I was doing in my house and my father used to kick me out for? Let's go. So I haven't done anything else since.
So the last question.
You said earlier that dance is connected to music, so also like locking is connected to locking music. What's your opinion on open style battles or all style battles?
Depends on, again, that goes to the organizer. They have to set the criteria for the open style battle. If it's an open style battle, then it means open. You can do whatever style you want. But the organizer has to decide what the music is. Are you going to play one music and everybody just has to dance to that? Or are you going to give each style their own music, the style that it's associated with? For me, that's how I like to see an all styles or open styles battle. If there's a popper versus a whacker, then the popper gets his music or her music and the whacker gets his or her music, and whose dance can do better to each kind of music. For me, that's how it should be. But I've also seen open styles battles where they'll play just house music and everybody has to adapt, or just hip hop and they have to adapt, or just disco. So you have just disco and then crumpers have to dance to disco, you know, or just, you know, hip hop, and then you have drill music, and then you got, you know, light feet heads that got to try to pull their thing together to drill music, or poppers. So it depends on the criteria, but that's what makes, like I said earlier, why I like the fact that that's where Red Bull is going. That's what they're doing with the contests that they have now. And that's a beautiful thing, because if you give the music that inspires the dance grows. If you make them dance to stuff that they don't feel, then the dance it's forced. You don't want it to be forced, you know. You want it to come naturally. You want a natural creative response to the music. So I think at the open styles or all styles battles, the organizer needs to set the tone for what it's going to be to make it as best as it could be. And then the DJ has to follow suit. You got to give the music that not just they can dance to, but that the crowd can feel their dance to.
So, kann man mich hören? Hallo, hallo?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, there you
Hello,
go.
hello. So, now we are finished. 90 minutes, they went very, very fast, and I can tell you from my experience, it would be only the start of the conversations if we would have enough time. Because I remember nights and nights of, I would not say talking, because for me, nights of listening, because this man has so much to say. And the more he's telling, the more questions there are coming. So I want to say thank you for coming. I want to say thank you to Kevin and Belle for inviting you, and for you for coming here. I hope it will be not the last time that you will come to this event. And thank you for your input. Thank you for sharing your experience. And if you have any questions today or tomorrow, feel free to ask him. And that's the best thing what we can do, to learn from the people who have the knowledge, and not to put down our ego, not to think I know, to ask and to learn. That's how we are growing. No matter how old we are, how young we are, it's not a question of age, it's a question of mindset. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just want to follow up on one thing that he said. This will be the last thing that I say. You don't need to learn from the people that have knowledge. You need to learn from all of the people, because every experience is a learning experience. So it's not just the people that have knowledge. You learn from people you learn from everyone. Doesn't matter their degree of what's knowledge or not, because you learn what to do and what not to do also. So it's not just about the people that have knowledge. You learn from all experience. And keep your mind open. That way, you will always be learning. Peace.
Thank you, man. It was a pleasure.